and welcome back to my channel. So I confess I am a bit of a pizzaholic. I love pizza. However, I'm very picky. I don't like super sweet crust, but I also don't like it too bland. I don't like it too thick or too thin. So today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite crust recipes, as well as 2 ways to use it as a pizza and as a calzone. And I hope you guys enjoy. So I've already put together my 1 to 1 1/4 cups of warm water, 2 teaspoons of yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. I've gone ahead and let that kind of just sit and bubble. I'm going to be using the bread dough attachment on my KitchenAid. I will have all of the amounts and the recipe for this bread dough written below in the description. So now I'm going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, some Italian seasoning. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, but you know, you can spice it up as much as you want. And then I add about 3 to 4 cups of flour. I like to let that all mix until it starts to pull away, and then once I can touch the dough and not have any sticky residue on my fingers, it's kind of when I consider it done. I then take a bowl. I like to coat it in some olive oil, and then I place the dough in there, kind of move it and knead it around by hand to get it all saturated in the oil, and then I go ahead and I let it rise for about an hour. So now that it's risen for probably an hour, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to about 415. I like to flour the surface that I'm going to work with, then dump the bread dough. And you can use a rolling pin for this, or you can do it by hand. I kind of just take my fists and work it in the center to bring down the sides, and then grab the edges and allow gravity to just kind of lengthen and stretch out the pizza dough. Like I said, if you want to do it with a rolling pin, you just do however you find easiest. I then like to flour my pan and then add my dough there. Just an extra precaution for it not to stick, because I hate it when my pizzas are all sticky to the pan as I'm trying to cut it up and remove it. And here's the fun part, just adding whatever topping you want. So I like to have a tomato-based sauce. You can do a Alfredo, you can do an oil, pesto, sometimes I like to add in there. Just sort of making it whatever you want. I like to add garlic because we really like garlic in our family. Some Parmesan cheese, some cheddar cheese, and then mozzarella. But honestly, like I said, you can add whatever type of toppings, cheese, anything, any sort that you want. It's very customizable. For that day, I was adding on some red onions that I had found in my fridge. A lot of times my pizzas kind of use up whatever leftover vegetables there are. And I went ahead and added some chopped up artichoke. Sometimes I like to take some fresh herbs from our garden and add that on top, but I didn't do that this time. But that's always a fun option to do. And then pepperoni. Sometimes I'll do salami or ham. Like I said, you can add whatever you want and make the pizza however you like it. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to the oven, and I'm going to cook this for 20 minutes. And there we go, a fully done pizza. Can slice and cook. So, how to make a calzone. I made the dough similar to how I shaped the pizza before, except I had broke it in half and made two. I'm gonna go ahead and add sauce and spread that all over one side. And then add a few seasonings and some onions on there. Again, you can add whatever you want on there. We like to do different vegetables. I like peppers. My husband doesn't necessarily. I love salami. Ham is also great. It's just whatever your preference is. Now, I will say the one secret to having a good calzone is provolone cheese. If you want a delicious and amazing calzone, you have to have that provolone. For whatever reason, it makes the taste of it. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and layer some other cheeses, mozzarella and cheddar. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want. We like a very hearty calzone. So then I like to shut it, and then I just use a fork to kind of crimp the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then cut some slits in the top so it allows it to cook well. I cook it for about 20 minutes at 415 again, same as the pizza. As soon as I can flick it and it's actually hard, that's when I know it's done. So I just cut it in half and then cut slices. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be having some more videos coming out in the next few weeks, and I hope to see y'all then. Bye!